Alright, so this deck is a hybrid deck. It's a Elana Seraph. So this is a deck that has existed since the previous expansion, Darkness Evolved. It was actually one of the top decks in Darkness Evolved, top tier, tier 1, very, very good. Uh, it's still pretty good in the Rise of Bahamut meta, but it is a little bit weaker. It's not that the class got nerfed or anything, but it doesn't really match up as well against all the other top decks. But it's still a really, really strong deck. So the deck revolves around two cards, but the first card is this one, Elana's Prayer. So this is a 3-cost amulet, and basically you plop it down, doesn't do anything, but it has a passive effect. Basically, every time you heal yourself, then all of your followers on the field get a +1/+1 buff. And it's a permanent buff too. So to make Elana's really potent, we have a whole bunch of cards that heal ourselves, like Rabbit Healer, which is normally not even that great of a card, 2-cost 2/1, really poor stats. But, if you have Elana on the field, then this becomes a 2-cost 3/2 that heals you, which is really good. Then we have Healing Angel, which is a 3-drop with basically the best possible stats and an upside of healing. Then we also have cards like Monastic Holy Water. It just heals you for 2 and cycles. And then also, finally, we have Radiance Angel. This is a 5-drop with really poor stats, but he heals you and he draws a card. So, I mean, along with Radiance Angel and the 1-cost Amulet Sacred Plate, this deck, doesn't really have problems with drawing cards. Usually, you keep a fairly full hand throughout the game. So the idea of this deck is it has a really unimpressive early game for the most part. Most of the time in the early game, you're just setting down amulets like Sacred Plea, Beastclaw Aria, and then ideally, you want to get out an early Elana's Prayer. So Elana's Prayer, 3 amulets, it's a tempo loss when you play it. Like if you play on turn 3, you're basically conceding the board to the opponent. The idea is that you take a little bit of damage in doing so, but then after you drop down Elana's Prayer, then you make up all the health you lost with all the healing minions, and then every time you heal yourself, your board gets scarier. So that's the main idea of the deck. You're able to generate these really, really scary boards after healing yourself. It's a very, very effective deck against aggro, since a lot of aggro decks, they have a lot of burn, but some of them don't have enough burn to get through all this healing. Now the other interesting thing about this deck is that it has a backup win condition. So Elana Havencraft's game plan doesn't work too well against like heavy control decks or against other combo decks. So you have another way to win, which is with the legendary that Havencraft got in the previous expansion, Darkness Evolved. This is Enstatued Seraph. So this is a very, very expensive amulet, 8 cost, and has a countdown of 1. And I'm not going to go through the full text here, because if you open this, it's like a really long sequence. But basically, every time it dies, it summons another amulet, and this happens 4 times. And then the last amulet that has the last words win the game. So the main combo win condition is you can play this on turn 8, and hopefully you won't die, because, if your opponent has a big board on turn 8, you can't afford to play this. But if you are ahead on the board, then you can play this. And then afterwards, you play 3 countdown amulet reduction cards to get an instant kill. So in this deck, we have 6 countdown amulet reduction cards. We have this one, Hollow Dogma, which is a basic card actually. So this just reduces 2 from the countdown of an amulet and draws a card at the same time. This card is very, very important, obviously, because it's an activator for your Seraph. But it also helps break your Beastclaw Aria on amulets early, because Aria has a 3 countdown. So if you don't reduce it, it's kind of a slow card. And then we also have this, Healing Prayer. This is another reducer, and it also has a bonus of restoring 3 health. So it also activates your Elana's Prayer. So there's a lot of nice synergies in this deck. Along with that, we have Priest of the Cudgel. This is probably the best 4-drop, or one of the best 4-drops in the entire game. His Evolve effect is amazing. He just banishes any follower, or any enemy follower, with 3 defense or less. Really strong against Shadowcraft, or against any deck that uses strong Last Words followers. So yeah, this if you're going second, this is probably the ideal turn 4 play, Evolve play. Basically guaranteed to 2 for 1 of the opponents, usually you'll 3 for 1 them. And then of course we have other staples like Degree. You know, just Wrath of God, wipe the whole board, something that's very, very important to stay alive. Now, in the Rise of Bahamut expansion, Havencraft didn't get that many great new cards, but one really strong card they got that fits into basically all their decks, including this one, is Ancient Lion Spirit. This is a 5-drop with 4/5 stats. Standard stats for a 5-drop. You notice that when you evolve, he still stays as a 4/5, but his evolve effect is very, very strong. Just 2 AoE damage to all enemies. So that's really, really good, because in this meta, you don't really see too many 1 health dudes anymore. You see a lot of 2 health or higher followers being played. So, very, very useful card that helps you stay alive. So you have a whole bunch of AoE now alongside Decree. Another card that I've seen some people play, I don't have it in my deck, but it's something that you may consider, is the Frog Cleric. It's a 2-drop, 2/2 stats, nothing really special, it doesn't do anything, but it has an enhance effect. Basically, if you have 4 play points, then it also heals you. So that's a card you can consider playing in this Elana Seraph deck. So yeah, that is the gist of this deck. Put down Elana's Prayer early, buff your dudes, make a scary board, and then you have Enstatued Seraph as a alternate win condition. I think one of the main difficulties of playing this deck is if you get matched up against an aggro deck, you have to constantly think about whether or not it's safe to play Elana's Prayer. Because sometimes, let's say if you're playing against aggro blood, you can't afford to spend your whole turn 3 playing this. So there are some matchups where Elana's is actually a dead card. You just never have a chance to play it because you have to just, really fight hard for the board. And that means, always putting stuff on the board every turn, always healing yourself whenever you can. Runecraft? Always keep Cudgel. In this case, obviously we toss out Radiance Angel. If it's Runecraft, depending on matchup, if it's like a Shift or Earthright, we don't need this card. But if it's Daria, and it most likely is Daria, because this guy is in Master, then Decree is one of the most important cards. So we keep 2 cards, toss out Radiance. Alright, we have a bunch of reactive cards. If he plays anything, we can banish it. Yep. That's getting banished. Here we cycle the waters, since our hand's getting kind of full. Pick up Elana's, that's good. Alright, now he starts playing stuff. So at this point, we know... Let me see. Yeah, we know that he's tempo. So it looks like he pre-evolved the Levy, set that to face. Now we can get... Okay. I was gonna say we can get it clear, but we can't clear everything right now. Just leave 1 body on the board. So actually, that's a slight misplay. So Cudgel was the correct play, but you notice I banished the Blade Mage. What I should have banished was the Craig. So this is Tempo Rune, so chances are, she's not going to have too many dead turns. But for example, if her hand was terrible and she needed more cards, one thing that she could do was to one thing she could do is to play Kaleidoscope on the Craig to draw a card, and then she could replay Craig for another double spell boost. So yeah, I should have banished this instead of the Blade Mage. Piercing rune. Oh man, that's scary. Take a lot of damage here. So it's really good that we've ended up picking up 3 copies of Tennis. This is a really easy Tennis. Because without that we can't clear the board. There's Daria. Alright, so basically this is going to be another Temis turn. Guaranteed. There's no evolves, luckily. Okay, so if we can pick up an Ancient Lion Spirit, we can deal with this. We didn't get it, so Temis again, and then play the amulet. And at this point, you notice he has only 1 card left. Hopefully it's not Daria. We have a billion cards. We are a little bit low on life, but now it's basically our turn to take over the board. Alright, that's a really weak turn. So here we have a couple things we could do. We could technically play Enstatued Seraph, because after Seraph we do have 2 of the countdown reducers, so we can just put a lot of pressure on him. The problem with this play is that it's somewhat dangerous, because we're still at 6 life, and so he has 2 damage on board. So even though it's unlikely, you know, she only has 1 card in hand, she'll have 2 next turn. It is possible for Tempo Rune to do 4 damage out of hand. She just has to draw it, right? So we're not going to go with that play, we're instead going to go with the safe play, which involves healing. So the point is here, instead of going for the Seraph win, we're just going to start building a really big scary board. And so building a board involves playing Elana. So we'll play Elana and then we'll heal using the Radiance Angel. And then we can evolve and clear it off. There's Daria. That's the let me see. 3rd and final one, I think? 9 cards left. Alright, so here we have to just push our advantage. We still have an evolve. We could again go for the Enstatued Seraph play, but you know, 7 power on board is pretty scary. So we just want to build a bigger board and start threatening lethal. So instead of Enstatued Seraph, what we're going to do instead is we're just going to break the amulet and then start healing to give buffs to all of our followers. Oh my god, that is such a good pickup. So, now we picked up Ancient Lion Spirit, so we can get a full clear with Ancient Lion Spirit. And normally, when we get the full clear, we'd also have to suicide the Lion into the Daria. But we can play, we have enough play points to play Lion, followed by Heal, so that the Lion Spirit will survive the trade. So at this point, the game is basically over. Lion Spirit, Heal, Evolve, clear the board. And then everything else go face. And then now the tables have turned. We were getting rushed down the entire game, and now we have this big scary board and we're threatening lethal. Oh, he had one more Daria, whoops. There's like no cards left. One card left. Yeah, that's game. First. So we're gonna toss out everything because we don't want any of these cards. 5 drop is too slow. We only want this card if we also pick up a Beast Call Aria. This is still a pretty bad hand. If our hand is really terrible, we might be forced to cycle the waters. But luckily we picked up the Angel, so we don't have to do that anymore. Because we have a turn 3 play, so we can save the waters. Now, we did pick up the Rapid Healer, and we could have played that. The problem with it is there's 1 health, so it just dies for free against this Quick later. Now we play Healing Angel. That amulet would have been really nice last turn. Alright, so now he has 3 bodies on the board. This is pretty scary. Now we can just play the Rabbit Healer along with the amulet. Value trade the 2/2. Wow, this is a really aggressive deck. Alright, it's going face. Alright, so we picked up Cudgel, which is one of the best cards for this matchup. But unfortunately, Cudgel's not that great right now, because even if we evolve him, we can't kill the 4/5, at least not cleanly. So instead of playing Cudgel, what we're going to do to kill the 4/5 is we're going to break the amulet, and then evolve the, the tiger, to kill the 4/5. And then we just trade in everything else. Then we have enough play points to play the priestess too. So let's do that. Well, that Line Spirit would have been really nice if I had it originally. Alright, so evolve Tiger. Okay, and then basically everything else, we're just going to trade everything else. These are extremely bad trades for us, but we have to make it, because we're not the aggressor here. I mean, he's an aggro deck, so we just have to survive, and then we'll win. That's evolving going face, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is really aggressive. Alright, so this is aggro. Obviously, the key point here is to win against aggro, you have to keep healing, but you also have to try to clear their minions while keeping your board as strong as possible. So we're definitely getting rid of the 5/7 for sure, and we're clearing everything. But the best way to clear it is we want to keep this tiger alive for as long as possible. So the best way to clear it is to suicide the 2/1 and the 2/2 into Albert. That brings him to 3 health, which is perfect, because it's for scripture range. The 6/2 can kill the 1/1, and then after that we can just heal and cycle, hopefully pick up another good card. So, draw first. Scripture. And then we can play the amulet. Alright, well, Dance of Death is pretty unfortunate there. We lost our big tiger, but the bright side is that it took up his whole turn. So now, we have the board, even though we're kind of low. Alright, there's the Elana. Alright, so if you notice, he didn't evolve the Viking. If he was, usually, if it's an aggro deck, you expect them to evolve the Guy of the Storm and go face. So the fact that he didn't evolve the Viking tells me that he has Albert in hand, and so he is probably going to save the Albert for turn 9 and the evolve for 10 burst damage. So basically, the best way to play around this is just every turn we have to heal, and just stay above 10 HP so that we don't die to Albert. So in this turn, we could play Cudgel to full clear, and then we can also set down the Elana Prayer. That'll make our board stronger in future turns. We don't have to worry about Albert right away. Albert's turn 9. Now, something that's very, very important. We have enough play points to put down the Sacred Play, but you notice our Beast Claw Aria is at 1 countdown, so it's going to burst next turn. So there is a chance, because he's an aggro deck, he's not going to trade into these two, he might just ignore them. So losing value from the Aria is really, really bad, so we're actually not going to play the Sacred Play. Okay, so looks like he's not going to save the evolve for Albert. That was a really aggressive evolve. We're at 3 health, so Albert's coming next turn. That means this turn we have to somehow heal ourselves above 6 life, and we also have to clear his board too. So if you look at our hands, we have 2 healing cards. We have a bunch of healing cards on board. So too much stuff. So what that means is that this turn we're gonna have to make some suboptimal trades, just so that we can have room to play both the Angel and the Radiance Angel. So the best way to do this is to send Cudgel into the 2-3, and then suicide the 2-4 and the 2-1 into the Viking, and that gives us enough space to play the Angel, both Angels. Okay, and now things have turned around. You know, getting rushed down the whole game, and now we are threatening lethal with our board. Yeah, he knows it's over.
楽しめと。
そこまた怪我してるじゃないの。これで決めます。まったく私がいないとダメなんだ。
私はまだ。
いけいけ。おびただしいほどの死を、溺れるほどの血を。ここからです。血に溶けていく、血に溶けていく、血に溶けていく。
迷える者にしるべを与えよう。
バハッピーちゃん負け負け。光があなたを導くでしょう。どうぞお覚悟を。祖国のために。私に任せな。あなたの痛みを和らげましょう。仲間との絆が私を強くする。これで決めます。みんなのためにも負けられないの。戦とは核の悲しき。これで決めます。そんな、みんなに示しがつかないわ。可愛いからって甘く見ないでね。覚悟はいいですか。百花繚乱ってね。
我が忠誠は鋼のごとし。
痛いじゃない。タイやヒラメが舞い踊る。乙姫様をお守りします。キャモンマイボディ。そこまた怪我してるじゃないの。
突撃あるのみだ。
迷える者にしるべを与えよう。
ここからです。
我がしるべに従うの。
撤退じゃー。タイやヒラメが舞い踊る。乙姫様をお守りします。撤退じゃー。
僕は君たちの心を映す鏡さ。
しる るべがなくては。
行きますわよ。そして祈りは栄光ある勝利となる。お見事です。光があなたを導くでしょう。永久の安寧を与えましょう。様には近づけさせません。
悪名はそこまでじゃ。
これで決めます。
貴様の弱点ビシッと見えたぞ。
邪神様、ここは神域ですのよ。ニコ頑張ります。これで決めます。もう怒りましたわよ。あなたの痛みを和らげましょう。ここからです。愛の癒しを与えましょう。暴れないでくださいまし。なんだなん。
迷える者にしるべを与えよ
ここからです。
う。我がしるべに従う。
戦とは特に悲しき。
迷える者にしるべを与えよ
終わりにしましょう。
我がしるべに従う。しるべがなくて人の子は。
なんだなん。
しるべがなくて人の子は。
そこまた怪我してるじゃないの。そこまた怪我してるじゃないの。
お前の未来を予言してやろう。
みんな
開けよスレイプに。ここが我らの戦場だ。バルカラにふさわしき
あなたの痛みを和らげましょう。
絶望よ、来たれ。
獄の底でまた会おう。
我は漆黒の陣雷。
戦とは僕も悲しき。
少しは楽しめそう。
峡谷で眠れ。
迷える者にしるべを与えよう。